Hey there. Today we're going to pull everything we've been talking about together and design one simple, real system that actually fits your life, not some fantasy version of it.
You know that feeling, right? You make this perfect, beautiful plan on a Sunday, and then by Tuesday, poof, it's completely fallen apart. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. The problem isn't you, it's the kind of plan you're making. Let's talk about that.
Okay, so let's dive right in. If you look at your page for lesson 5.4, the first question gets right to the heart of this whole idea. What's the real difference between a real schedule and a fantasy one?
Well, a fantasy schedule is for a life where you're basically a superhero. You're never tired, always motivated, and surprise, nothing unexpected ever happens. But a real schedule, that's, actual life. It's got homework from a bunch of different classes, practices, maybe a job, and days where you just feel sick or stressed out. Your energy goes up and down. That's reality.
And here's the key takeaway. A system you build for that fantasy life, it's going to crumble the second things get a little messy. But a system built for your real schedule, that's the one that can actually support you when you need it the most.
Okay, so if we know the problem is designing for this fantasy schedule, then what's the solution? Well, the next question on your page introduces this really powerful idea called a minimum viable system.
A minimum viable system. It's just the smallest, simplest version of a routine that actually gets the job done. We're talking 3 to 6 super simple steps you can follow on a totally normal, messy, imperfect day. It's the version that survives a tired Tuesday. Go ahead and pause here to get that definition down in your own words. So why is this minimum idea so important? I mean, why would a tiny, simple system be any better than a big, detailed, perfect one? Well, think about it. A small system that you actually do, say, 4 or 5 days a week, that's what quietly changes your life. It builds a real habit. But that perfect, complicated system you only stick with for 2 days, it doesn't really do anything. Real change comes from being consistent, not from trying to be perfect. Why don't you pause for a moment and answer that question on your page?
And here's another thing about a real schedule. It changes, right? Your life isn't the same every single week. You've got calm weeks, and then you have those weeks with big games or final projects where everything is just a lot.
This is where good systems really shine, because they're flexible. When you get super busy, you don't have to just drop everything. You can shrink your system down, maybe to just 1 or 2 things that are the most important. That way, you keep the momentum going and you avoid that feeling of failure. Go ahead and take a moment to jot down your thoughts on this.
And for the last question in this section, let's talk about how your system can grow and change right along with you, because your systems aren't set in stone.
I mean, it makes sense, right? The system that worked for you in 9th grade probably isn't the right fit for 11th grade. Your routine during soccer season will need an update after the season ends. The key is you don't have to throw your whole system away, you just update it.
Okay, so now it's time to actually build one of these systems for yourself. Let's move on to the next section and put these ideas to work.
First things first, I want you to look at the list and just pick one part of your day where you think a simple routine could really make a difference. Maybe it's the morning, maybe it's homework time. Go ahead and circle that on your page.
Okay, now for that part of the day you chose, what are the things that have to happen? Like a job or practice? These are your non-negotiables. And then, be really honest with yourself. What's your energy level usually like at that time? Go ahead and pause here to fill in those details.
So let's take a look at this example for homework time. See what makes it so good? It's not complicated, it's realistic. It starts with a snack, because you're human. It uses a short 10-minute timer just to get you started on the hard stuff. It's all about making it easy to begin, not about being perfect.
All right, now it's your turn. I want you to design your own minimum viable system. Just 3 to 6 simple steps. Think of it like leaving a friendly note for your future self on a normal day. Go ahead and pause to write your steps now.
Okay, great. But writing this system is only step 1. The real magic happens when you test it out, reflect on how it went, and make little adjustments. Let's talk about that. So after you've used your new system for a few days, you're going to ask yourself, was it too big, too small, or just about right? And here's a good way to tell. If you could only manage to do it on your absolute best days, it was probably too big. The goal is to find what's about right for a normal day.
And this second reflection question really gets back to the whole point. How could this simple routine help you when things get really crazy later in the semester? Remember, we're building a tool to support you, not another thing to stress you out.
So let's just quickly recap the big ideas. First, fit your systems to your real life, not a fantasy one. Second, a minimum viable system is your best friend. It's small and realistic. Remember that consistency is so much more powerful than perfection. And finally, good systems are flexible and they evolve with you.
If there's one thing you take away today, it's this. A small system you actually use is always better than a perfect one you don't. Now, go ahead and finish up the lesson 5.4 page in your workbook.